What's what's happening, everybody? And welcome to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mowry Jr.,
Hey y'all, I'm his wife, Deirdra,
and we something like ordinary couple.
with extraordinary purpose. Greetings, salutations, accolades, and many blessings. I thought you was getting ready to say something, sir.
I'll be waiting on you to say that, but you be coming in a little
How
late.
long you gonna wait on me?
I mean, I wait on you forever. You what?
Forever?
Well, I would wait on you forever, but I need you to know your audience. I'm your man. Do you wanna make me wait forever?
Well, sometimes it's good to make you wait. Like I made you wait a year before I gave you a kiss. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm the inquiring mind. Why did you wait? Why did you stay with me for a year and I wouldn't even kiss you?
Because I loved you.
Oh. You
And
knew even then,
I
John?
knew you was gonna be my wife. So, but my loins.
Was hot.
Don't laugh and choke on the popcorn now.
Okay.
It was my loins was a little warm, so you know.
Well, you waited even longer
I did.
for some tail.
I did.
I love you too, Mo.
So, how was your day?
My day was good. It was a little long. However, I made it. How y'all doing today? Did we ask y'all that?
How you doing?
How y'all doing?
How was your day? Did you have a great day?
How your mama now? How your kids doing?
I don't want to know about your mama right now.
How your
I'm just
spouse?
asking about you.
Your husband or your wife?
How are you? Ask your spouse that. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And then look them in the eyes.
When y'all see y'all spouse, when y'all pick them up, do y'all kiss them
Well,
and say, "Hey, baby, how you doing?"
Everybody don't pick their spouse up.
Well,
Sometimes when you get to the house,
right?
you just talking about your life because I pick you up.
Right, but some people do pick their spouse up.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't.
Okay, so if you
when
pick
you
your
see your
spouse
spouse,
up, or if you meet them up at the house, how do you greet them?
when you see your spouse after a full day of work, what do you say? I'm trying to help you, baby. I'm helping you. That's
Baby, but it's either or. It's some do both,
okay.
or either one. You know. What's that? What's that?
I say go ahead.
What's that?
I just told you to go ahead.
How do you greet your spouse? How do I greet my spouse? I greet my spouse with a smile and with a kiss. Am I accurate?
Yes.
Most of the time?
Yes.
Sometimes. I'm always glad to see you though, baby. And sometimes you greet me with a song on real loud. And I like that. I just want you to know
And
that.
you open the door and then you shake dance for me in front of your job. That really turns me on.
What is wrong with us?
She come out the door. She go in the back door. She put her stuff on the seat, and then she'll be shaking a little bit. And then when she get in the front, I got a truck, so she got to grab the little thing. She put her hand up there, and she just started shaking. That turns me on. It does.
And you do it on purpose.
Make me feel.
You do it on purpose.
Make me feel all warm and tingly inside.
And won't it?
And yeah.
It be hot.
Don't be hot.
Oh.
It be simmering though.
Oh.
It be simmering. Like you're not like a pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a pressure cooker. That's how I am. I'm like a pressure cooker.
Well, then sometimes you play. You have a slow song playing. That's when you want to be romantic on the way home.
Yeah. I'm always trying to have a theme or something. And then sometimes I had the Lord playing in the truck.
You do.
I need them.
Because the day
and
has
then
been
Deirdra
rough.
be needing them. And then we get in, we kiss, and then we just ride home listening to.
That's all. We just worship all the way home.
Get our minds right.
Yeah.
So we don't take this foolishness in our house. So speaking of all this, that's what we're going to talk about today. Listen, if the Moments with the Mobleys have helped you in any way in your relationship, please subscribe, like, and share.
Or if you are new to Moments with the Mobleys, our podcast, um, just please do us a favor and hit subscribe and join the Mob Stars on Facebook as well as on Patreon. The links are in the description below.
Yeah.
Okay? Thanks so much, y'all. We appreciate you all.
Hit us up.
Hit us up.
So
Hit us.
today, we had a couple of things that we wanted to talk about, but the one thing that's most important now, we want to talk about some marriages, because right now, with the research we've done, marriages are hurting right now.
Well, and not even research, even though, we looked into some stuff. It's
bad.
It's all over Instagram.
bad.
It's all over, Facebook, the news, and all these things about celebrity marriages breaking up. But even like in our, sphere, our circle. Well, not our circle, but like people.
Well, we see
that
it
are
with
tangible.
celebrities,
Yeah.
and we see it with people who are not celebrities.
Right.
So, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you where I think it stemmed from, because a lot of people, I think a lot of people relationship was exposed to them during COVID.
Well, you're right. Yeah,
So
you're absolutely right. It was.
And living the day in and day out life of before COVID, where you had kids and they had all kind of activities, and you and your spouse worked, and then you got off and you had kind of like had like a rhythm of what you would do. And then on the weekends, what we would call spending time with our family would be taking the kids to the park, going to the movies, doing a picnic, which all those things are great.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times the couples didn't nurture their relationship.
Yeah.
It was always
trying to rest, grocery shop,
do it for the kids.
Whatever. Mm-hmm.
So, when COVID happened, everybody was home. Yeah, you found out you found out your relationship, it was a little tough.
Yeah.
Or some people found out they didn't have no relationship with their spouse. So it's a lot of stuff. But we wanted to kind of touch on marriages today, because it's important to us.
Yeah.
All marriages are important to us, husband and wives. It's important to us.
And, a couple that we, I asked you about if you had heard about it, which you, just depending on your schedule, you're not, don't have, I have a little more time than you to actually go on CNN.com, because I do that too as well, just to read up on what's happening, or go on Instagram or Facebook to look at our stuff, check our emails and different things like that. But excuse me, the latest happenings as far as celebrity marriages that you see breaking up is it Tia Mowry and her husband Corey, as well as Tom Brady and Giselle. And so we just wanted to, I just wanted to ask your, opinion on this, because, and then we'll get into some information that we want to share with y'all. It was like, as far as Tia and Corey, I don't really follow, I think, her like that, or whatever. I watch, like I think she's the one who's in maybe like some of the Lifetime movies and stuff like that. I wasn't really like a big sister fan or anything like that, but I like them, But I saw that I saw this one video where this lady was telling people, like, listen, because I guess a lot of people were saying, if this couple couldn't make it, then I guess I'm just doomed, or my marriage is doomed, or I ain't gonna even get married, because, Tia and Corey didn't make it, and, they, I think they met on the set of some show, or on a movie or something. And people was actually saying, like, basing their marriage, or basing their would be, or, could be marriage on the fact that, well, if they ain't made it, I'm doomed. My relationship is doomed, or a relationship that I would have had is doomed. And so the young lady was saying, like, the video that she was sharing was like, are you kidding me? These are celebrities. Y'all only see literally what they put out on Facebook or Instagram, or if, they caught doing something. Yeah. But for the most part, you see them on Facebook and Instagram, on TV. So for you to just take a piece of what they've put out there that now they're divorcing, I don't, as far as I know, they didn't have like no long term like beefing, on the social. So it's like, y'all, just you can like people's relationship, or admire their marriage for what it is, for what but you got to be honest. We don't know everything that goes on in a marriage because everybody don't share everything. And
But some people feel like because they don't follow them from sister to sister growing
right,
up,
I get all that.
they know them.
Oh, but you don't.
But you don't know them.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the difference between the reality and the fantasy of it.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happened in their relationship.
Exactly.
Now with Tom Brady and Giselle, I'll say this, and I'm
and still we're looking at it from
yeah,
the
from
outside.
the outside
We don't know them
in.
people. Look, just like y'all don't know them.
But I'm in the 80 percentile that I believe that I'm right. Tom Brady been playing football for so long.
Yeah.
And it been such a big part of his life.
Yeah.
I think he got fearful when he was going to retire because I don't think he knew how to be
just a regular
husband
right.
and dad.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that Tom Brady is not a great husband or dad.
Right.
But playing football, he only had to do it in certain percentages.
Right, because you had games.
Because he had games, he had to go.
Yeah.
But he don't, what else is he, he hasn't tapped into anything else that, God had created him to be. So I think he got fearful. Because, think about it. I don't think he need no money. But just like I said, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think he needed no money. I think they were set, and from what I hear, his wife is a little richer. Makes more than him. So why go back to football? It could have been, the wife make more money than him already. And if he's not bringing nothing in and got to create something from scratch, it could be so many different things. But I really believe that he felt like football is who he is.
Yeah.
And to come out of that and be a husband or try to find something else or, be a full-time husband and, it was just going to be tough.
Yeah.
He don't see himself even if his wife wanted to go back working full-time and do what she was going to do, he didn't see himself as a stay-at-home dad or something like that. Well, and this is just me perspective.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You never know what people think, but I do think I'm hitting real close to the target when I say he don't know who he is outside of football. I believe that.
And of course, as with all marriages, we absolutely believe that people hit bumps in the road, and who knows, this may be the filing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe a bump in the road. Because for some people, you've seen them file, and then you've seen them reconcile and file and maybe reconcile. Some of them have filed before, reconcile, and they never look back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So preferably like both couples, and I know there are other people other than just these two couples that we mentioned, but these were like the hot topics, I guess, that the couples that were being talked about a lot. But, as with every, other marriage or couple that we encounter, just in regular life, I just pray that there's some turnaround in it, for if it can be repaired, let me put it like that, just for them, and as well as the kids. However, if they decide to do it and keep that on the table, I just pray that they can work out a good relationship as far as co-parenting and stuff like that or whatever. But it's just you just never know what people go through.
Yeah, and we could be way off. It might have been some infidelity. It might be some abuse. We don't know.
Right.
But just from what we know, as well as y'all know,
right.
What they put out, that's my take on that. Not Tia who is it? Tia and Corey. I don't.
Like I said, I don't know either. That
I
just
haven't followed their
relationship.
So I don't know about that. But
right.
It's tough. People want to give up in their marriage when at some point in time they don't see eye to eye no more, or they can't agree upon stuff, and then they feel like once we get there, then we at the end of our
There's
road.
no right,
then there's no
right,
turning
right,
back. But that's not true. Everybody evolves. Marriages, couples, husband and wife evolve. I'm 50 now. I'm not the same dude I was when I was 40. I'm not the same dude I was when I was 30. So as I change, I have to embrace who I am now and the changes that come with it. That's just,
do I.
yeah, that's just it. And then we have to be sensitive to each other with the change. Like we said before, a marriage is not it's a journey. It's a lifetime. It's a one-way lifetime journey. Because once you hit your 20s and then your 30s and then your 40s, you can't go back. You can only build from where you're at, and once you get it. So, yeah, you just have to move forward and allow yourself to evolve and grow, and then accept it from your spouse as well, with your spouse as well, because it's life. It happens.
And as seasons change, so do seasons in marriages.
Yeah.
And so also with being on the outside looking into these, celebrity marriages that you see on Instagram and Facebook, and I see people, they put goals and all this stuff if they see the husband take, the wives to, the Maldives or whatever. Y'all don't know what's going on.
Money don't
in
fix
these people
Let me tell you
marriages. Talking about some goals.
Money does
I
not
be
fix.
just like them.
Yeah, money does not fix a relationship at all.
And it doesn't define
no relationship.
Ever.
Especially a husband and wife.
Yeah.
It does not define it. So I don't care how much money you got. At the end of the day, you still got to be reachable, touchable. You got to be attentive to your spouse. You have to be there. So it don't change by how much money you make.
Y'all got to see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people are not even married yet, but it's more than just taking me on a trip. Or her taking him on a trip. It's more. More. There's more. There's a whole lot more.
And don't get me wrong, whining and dining.
That's absolutely nice.
And courting. That's great stuff. It's great stuff. But at the end of the day,
some people just focus on the glitz and glamour of it and don't understand the day to day and stuff, and the bills and the babies and the tents fellowships and all that stuff that that can happen, and that do happen even though you may not see it. So but something I looked up today and I sent to Johnny with us just talking about this, and we were going over some stuff, and I just screenshot it. I don't remember where I got it from, but it was a Google article. It was a reputable source, but I can't. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But it says
the focus on the family.
Not for this one. The clip that I sent you that says the divorce rate by state for 2022. This is just a summation. I didn't clip the percentage by states, but it says marriage and divorce are both common experiences for adults, although both can be challenging. About 90% in Western cultures, about 90% of people in Western culture marry by age 50. In the U.S., about 50% of married couples divorce. That's a lot. Excuse me. The United States has the sixth highest divorce rate in the world. Subsequent marriages have an even higher divorce rate. 60% of second marriages ends in divorce, and then 73% of all third marriages end in divorce.
Jesus.
Divorce is becoming too common. And a lot of it, well, I'm not going to even say a lot of it, but some of it, like Johnny said, you get to a certain point and it gets hard. You know what I'm saying? Or then you think, oh, well, we've grown apart, or it's irreconcilable differences. But I believe that a lot of them can be salvaged if people would just reach out before they get to that point of, it's no turning back. We just not getting along. We arguing every day. We went through a period where it seemed like it was something every day.
Yeah.
I want to say that it was maybe that 5 or 6 year mark.
It was tough.
It was like every day, y'all. Like something. It was It could be that he left a cup on the sink. It it seemed like every single day, as we like to say, we was tussling, and couldn't really pinpoint it. It wasn't even like it was a big deal, but it was just at that point in our marriage, we was just going back and
We were
forth,
frustrated.
back and
So
forth.
we didn't know who we were.
Yeah, absolutely.
We was having kids like rabbits. So that the one thing that we could do is have sex. That's the one good thing that we could do. Communication, we didn't find our rhythm in that. We were still trying to figure out who we were.
Yeah.
I was trying to find my identity in being what I thought was a husband and a man by providing, and then, but the response I was getting from my wife was her crying. She was crying when I tried to talk because she was depressed. So
Well, not all the time. You said
no,
like I was just
you
went
you
through the
but
first
you
parts of
was,
marriage, just
but it was
completely
times
depressed.
that you was depressed
I know
because,
there were.
but we didn't find this out till years later. It was a tough spot for us to be, but we didn't give up. Now, and that's not saying that I didn't say it ain't you, it's me.
Right, and that's not to say that I didn't say, yeah, I was crying because a lot of times, yeah, the majority of the times, well, maybe half or a little over half, I felt like that. But in the other, other, amount of time, I think it was solely based on, we loved each other, but I don't, at certain points,
was
like you say,
hard.
you didn't like me, and I
Man, it was hard. Let me tell you something. When you got all that
I
stuff
didn't like
happening,
you either, sir.
the daily, you get
Parts of
married,
living, yeah.
the daily stuff that was happening. You're dealing with people on your job. You're dealing with all kind of stuff. Then you got the financing part, and then you got the kids growing up. They growing up and evolving, and it's just a lot. And if you don't take time, like my wife always said, if you don't take time to nurture your relationship and make it slow down, but put the time in to nurture your relationship with your husband and your wife. I mean, that's how you have to do it. It's no quick way to do it. I mean, there ain't no trick to it. There ain't none of that. You just got to sit down and put the time in.
Just that organic.
That's just it.
Yeah, spending time
Yeah.
together.
And we believe any marriage can work. And we believe any marriage can work. The only thing we had a question mark about, a red flag, if it's some type of physical, mental abuse type stuff. Then
and then biblically, infidelity is a way that you can walk away. However, some choose to stay and work through it.
Yeah,
we're a witness.
Yeah.
But when you, just like you just said, in a nutshell, what you just said is something that I read in this article. It's focused on the families where we're getting this from right now that we're getting ready to give y'all. It said it in another way. You reap what you sow. A lot of people think when you say that you're just talking about money.
Yeah.
But in this, is giving you the same principle. You reap what you sow. You don't put no time into your marriage. You don't put no time into your spouse. You don't spend no time with them. Y'all ain't dating. Y'all ain't being intimate. Y'all ain't talking. Y'all ain't, just spending time together or doing life together. Then what is gonna happen? Let's say after the kids go, because like Johnny said, that was the top thing on my list. And I know there were times when you probably thought I was just whining or whatever, but I was like completely serious. Like, and you knew that after a while.
Yeah.
Like, if we ain't going on no dates, if we ain't talking, if we ain't making love, if we ain't intentionally pouring into each other, which mean I'm sharing with you what's on my heart, you sharing with me what's on your heart, you intentionally leading me as well as our children, and you're doing it and making sure that I'm good and I'm making sure that you're good. If all that stuff is not happening and we are building a life together, then there is no life together when they leave. Because then we would have not known. I would have been looking at you like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Joker,
and you would have been looking at me like,
who are you?
Right. And probably being on the phone with them all the time and trying to talk to them because they who I was talking to.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. During that part of COVID, a lot of people probably experienced that they didn't know their spouse.
Right.
Some people probably experienced a tougher thing that they didn't even know their kids. So
Or they self.
So you don't take time to do this. At the end of the day, you can make all the money in the world and
Absolutely.
go after and accomplish all the goals you want to accomplish. But if you got a husband or a wife and then you got children, if you don't spend time and nurture that relationship, get to know them, get to know the changes, get to see them involved, it just won't be none.
Yeah.
It just won't be none.
Yeah.
And quitting, and this is the thing, people think quitting is the answer, and then you start over fresh. But if you don't change who you are, if you don't change who you are, you're going to find yourself just in a second marriage repeating the things you did in your first marriage. So that's just a lot of answers. You just have to look at yourself and then put forth intentional effort to make your relationship work.
Yeah.
You just have to. And let me say this, because you've been married 15 years, 20 years, that don't mean you worked on your marriage. A lot of people feel like they got, because they got kids and their kids got big and all this other stuff, and we done been married 20 years. I done tried, but what we usually find when we coach a couple, what we usually find is y'all ain't never tried.
Never.
Y'all never tried. Every couple that we counsel right now, half of the time, what we do is create a white sheet, may I say, a blank sheet of let's start from here. And then the questions we start to ask, they never did. So it's like, because you've been in a marriage for 20 years and now you feel like you done did everything you could, but you never gave your marriage a shot. Mm-hmm. You never gave the relationship a shot. Yeah, you can be in a marriage for 20, 25 years
and act like roommates, never live like roommates.
Yeah, and never put forth effort in your relationship.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. We see it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna sum up just this first piece. It's basically saying, like, of course, and y'all have heard us say this before. Christ laid out he laid it out on the table. What it is as far as marriage, he created it. Yeah. So the husband and the wife, the marriage, the whole covenant is just a duplication. Did I use the wrong word?
A replica.
A replica. Yeah. I said replication. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Of Christ loving, Christ and the church, his bride. But a lot of people get away from that, as far as like Ephesians chapter 5 says, men, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And again, like I said, it indicates the relationship between Jesus and his bride, the church. And that should be our example of what marriage is. And for the longest, I always told my girls, and I can remember, and I tell them this sometimes when we talk today, do y'all remember that particular day that we were riding home and we were going in our neighborhood? We had some type of minivan. We always had minivans, but and I was just telling them, I said, I know that me and Dad didn't do it the conventional way. We had sex before marriage. We had two of you all before we got married. No, we didn't do it the conventional way, but I admonish you to try to do that in your lives, because the plan that God lays out for us is better than any plan that we ever trying to do from our own will.
Yeah.
Period. And that's with marriage or anything in life. His way is always better. And that's what I try to tell him as far as marriage is concerned. It's like people try to have and do marriage without the one that created marriage. And for me, how? How can you do it?
That's society anyway.
Well, you're right.
When you get a new phone or a new gadget, don't nobody, they don't read the instructions. They don't. They read, they figure it out. And like I said before, our phones probably do a fourth of what our phones can actually do. Yeah. Just because we didn't read the instructions to see everything it can do. Yeah. Now, me and my wife, we utilize our phones pretty good, and these phones are the Note 10. So they're pretty much like computers.
Yeah.
So we utilize it for work and everything, but it's still a ton of stuff that these phones can do that we don't even know.
Exactly. God intended for us to have loving, fulfilling, contented relationships. That's what He, desired, or He created marriage to be. And y'all have heard us say this scripture as well. For this reason, in Genesis, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother, be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. And so the more that you pour into that whole idea of that's what marriage is, like I said, we mentioned it a minute ago, pouring into each other. Time, conversation, love. This is how I feel about you. This is, how you make me feel. All those things are important, as well as the intimate part of it. You're making love, being together. God created it. It's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
So marriages fail for a reason. And I just said it. You sow, the sow and reap principle. If you sow nothing into it, you reap nothing from it. Period.
And that's a life. Get out of it. That's a life principle.
Right. Exactly. They used a certain a researcher. His name was John Gottman. He wrote a book called Why Marriages Succeed or Fail, and he broke it down into a couple areas. And we had already talked about some of these, I think, before.
Yeah.
We just giving y'all a refresher, okay? And so I'll surmise it, and then you can summarize it. I'm trying to make up these sexy words. That may be a right word. Maybe
you good.
Could be. But the first thing is he stated was that criticism. That's the first thing that you see that goes down the road of leading to marital failure. Okay, which is complaint. He gives the notion of that complaining means to just address a specific behavior that you wish your spouse, that your spouse is doing that you would wish that they would not do. So complaining is just beginning with I've noticed that, that this is happening now. I feel like, when this happens, it makes me sad. However, when you get to the criticism part of it, it's personally attacking their character.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what you're doing. It's not a complaint. It's now you're criticizing. It says that criticism attacks your spouse's personality, and basically you're assassinating their character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you are this with something derogatory behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's our take on that. Do you and your spouse have to talk about things that make each other uncomfortable?
Right.
You do. Here's our take on it. The formula for that is being solution-minded, which means come up with some way, a solution to basically fix the problem together. And then talk about what it is. A lot of spouses do stuff that irritates. A lot of husbands do stuff that irritates their wives.
And a lot of wives do stuff to irritate their husbands.
But they don't talk about it.
Right.
They just feel like you should know.
Right.
And then what they do is respond and they criticize, like Deirdra said, but you attack the person's character.
Yeah.
And then that
and
makes
not the problem.
Yeah, and not the problem. So what winds up happening is you attack my character, I'm coming back for you.
For the jugular.
Oh, yeah. So that's what wind up happening.
Yeah.
And that's what turns into a heated argument. All this stuff has to be done with communication and listening, man. So to have a successful marriage, you always have to be solution-minded. Yeah, it's an issue, and yes, we need to talk about it, but I never go to Deirdra without a solution already.
Right.
I give her a couple of options.
Yeah.
And then she's able to give me a couple of options. So if it's something that she's doing that irritates me, what I would do is come up with a solution. Hey, babe, instead of doing that, what about if we did it like this?
Right.
And notice I said, what about if we do it like this?
Because it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then she would say, okay. And then she might ask questions like, okay, so you ain't cool with me doing such and such? Well, it kind of make me feel like such. She said, oh, well, you should, just say that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then that's it.
Right.
But see how I de-escalated it right off the bat by coming up with a solution.
Because the criticism would have been what? Show them an example.
look, bro, you need to pull up off that. You need to pull off every time you do this, and you getting on my nerve because you always keep doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Why you keep doing this?
And you being selfish, or you being Then I'm straight up defense mode.
And then
I'm ready.
up.
I'm ready. Yeah.
I thought I was doing this for you.
Yeah.
You know, such and such and such. Well, I don't know why you thought that. You don't even really do it that good. So I mean, so that's what happened. And that's when you start attacking their character. Now is you don't even do it that good. You don't this, you don't that. You ain't really good at that, and you know, whatever. So now you just being petty.
Yeah.
But solving the issue. If it's an issue, and this is something else, husband and wives, if your spouse come to you and tell you something bothers them, you can't just brush it off.
Yeah.
If something I'm doing that's making Deirdra uncomfortable or whatever the case is, and she come to me and she tell me, I gotta make it right. The best, or come close as I possibly can.
About what's going on and how you can
and
help.
vice versa.
Yeah.
If she's having an issue and I just say, "Oh, well, that sound like a what the thing a PP personal problem." Oh, that sounds like a PP.
That in a long time.
I'm good. If you ain't good, you need to check yourself.
But what do you always tell me? What do you always say, or tell other people as well?
If my wife is not good, I'm not good. Now, it took me a minute. It took us a minute to get there.
Yeah.
Because going through life, you know, you try to be good. But my responsibility is not to make sure my wife is happy. It's my responsibility is do my part to make sure we step in the right direction. Get that part. It's not me saying, well, I got to do what I got to do to make her happy. That's not what I'm trying to do. She need to be happy herself. And I give her moments of happiness. If she not whole, then ain't nothing I can do with it.
And that's vice versa.
Yeah.
Guys.
So, but it's not my responsibility to make her happy. My responsibility is to keep myself straight and keep myself whole. And then together, we make each other, we have moments of happiness. But if she's not happy,
and we create them. You know?
So if she's not happy,
if
she's not happy here or here, have peace here. And peace is not the absence of conflict and trials and tribulations. Peace is the presence of God in your life. And people got to get it. You go through stuff, and evolving is going to have to happen. And the process is not going to change because you want it to change.
Right.
But what you have to comprehend is your peace does not come from the not having conflict, not having to go through trial tribulation. That's not where your peace come from. Your peace come from understanding that you already done made it through and that your peace is in God. So you rest in Him.
Yeah.
That's where your peace come from.
Yeah.
Now, all our couples that might, all our people who don't, do God like that, and they don't try God, and
that's all we got to give them.
Yeah. Well, we talk about God like this because He's been very relevant in our life,
He is everything.
We can go through our life even when we was not
paying Him no attention,
none, when we was acknowledging Him at all, but His breath and His fingerprint been all over our life, because certain things could have happened that didn't happen.
Thank you for
that. Ain't luck.
The seen and the unseen.
Yeah, that ain't luck. People always say, I'm lucky. Yeah, that ain't luck. Lucky ain't got nothing to do with it. Yeah. That's an angel assigned to you, covering you and keeping you by God's demands. That's what that is. He making sure you good. So yeah, it's you're gonna have to go through stuff. You're gonna have to go through the process and the growth, and it ain't easy, and it's hard, and yeah, it's gonna feel bad sometimes, but it's to stretch you and build your capacity to get to where you gotta go at to be able to take on more. You can't get promoted in life and just don't go through nothing. That ain't how that works.
You want your offering now or later?
It'll be later.
Oh, okay.
That's just not how that works. So
You gonna let me move to the next thing?
yeah, go ahead.
Or we gonna stay here and then we want to pick up these couple? Oh, okay.
Come on.
All right. So the next thing that you see when it comes to the marriage spiraling is when the criticism turns into so it's contempt. I'm sorry, contempt comes next. That's when the criticism has pretty much entrenched itself within your routine. You sink to feelings and actions of contempt. You're no longer able to admire one another or even remember why you fell in love with one another or why you married each other. And so at this point, the difference between contempt and criticism is the intention to insult and psychologically abuse your partner. Now you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. So
and
now,
again,
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. And again, now you've stepped to another, a deeper level of just toxicity. I can't say the word.
Being toxic.
Yeah, being toxic. Put it like that. Toxicity.
So
yeah, because you just going deeper, and now you meaning to do it. So you're literally contemplating how you can make your spouse miserable, attack their character, and all of the above intentionally.
So this is where you attacking the characteristics are now embedded in your feelings, and now you can't even stand the person that you married
right.
to. So it don't matter how big or small of something that they do. You don't like it.
Yeah, you got a vendetta now.
You don't like it.
Yeah.
So now you talking to people and you telling people how bad your wife is or what she don't do, and you telling people your husband don't do this and this.
Well, you telling your spouse.
Well, you tell your spouse, but here's the thing: this is the gateway into infidelity, because what usually happens is the husband find some shorty on your job that you've been looking at. She cute, but you ain't never said nothing because you trying to be faithful. And now that you done got to contempt, you can't stand your wife. Nothing that she do. She can't do nothing right in your eyes. So now you begin to tell people about it. So now you tell shorty, who you thought was cute, and all you doing is giving her a playbook of what not to do and try to be who you need her to be.
Yeah.
Until y'all,
it's fakeness.
Yeah. So that's
False.
what usually happens.
Yeah.
And then you good. Then you good with, the person because they're quote unquote are the person you was looking for.
Right.
Or this is the person I should have married. Or man, I should have talked to you before. But what she doing is that's her representative. The only thing you doing is giving her the playbook. And vice versa. Why if you talking to a dude on your job or wherever, you giving him a playbook on what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Until he get the drawers. Or the panties. Or the thongs.
Next, defensiveness sets in, which is, this is a major destroyer of communication in marriage. Because at this point, it says now comes in the need to justify and explain your actions. However, the major problem with defensiveness is that it obstructs the communication and nothing gets resolved.
Yeah. So now this is the part where my wife like to say, now we just talking to respond. We ain't listening to each other at all.
Not one God blessed
So
thing.
as soon as I grab something and I can put some fire to and throw this dagger back at you, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And then you just throwing daggers back at each other.
Yeah, nothing
destroying
resolved.
each other's character. And there's nothing worse than having someone destroy your character and beat you down and break you down with words that where you live in your house at.
Yep.
It's nothing worse than that. Because now, because think about it. You get married, you find out all kind of things about each other that, you become transparent. People, you have to become transparent in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion throughout your marriage. So throughout the relationship, you see things that you probably didn't know with your wife and vice versa. So Now you see things. And now you use those instead of using those things to make the moments become closer because the person is being transparent. You take it and use it as ammunition. So now you got certain things like Deirdra did to me on the way home today. She took something that I was a little vulnerable back in the day and she used some ammunition. She just threw it at me. No, I ain't telling y'all what it is. And she better not either.
It was a jokey joke. It was just a little jokey joke.
But again, I don't think we said anything about the contempt part. So just go back to contempt for 1 minute.
We did say something about contempt.
But the same thing to not get to that stage is what we said in the first part with the criticism. You got to be solution minded. So these are the different stages that come from the criticism. It just keep getting deeper and deeper. But how you get out of all this is you have to be solution minded.
Well, we got to give the last thing.
Go ahead.
Before you tell them the things to be solution minded about. So the final stage is what they call stonewalling. So at this point, there's no need for conversation. I've tuned you out. You've tuned me out. We're not listening to one another. I got a wall up. Nothing you say can penetrate it. My mind is set. Yours probably is too. And at this point, they say couples only have a 6% chance of survival without intervention. Can somebody come in and intervene? Yeah. The percentage is low, but I think it has to be just somebody who is just straight, real, raw, and honest about what's going on. Like putting it in your face.
But even with that, once you get to the stonewalling part, you ain't even trying to look for no help.
Well, you're not. But they say a 6% chance of survival without intervention. Yeah. So some do.
Yeah. So
maybe one of the couple might reach out, or somebody on the outside who they respect, or a pastor or somebody, a friend that really has their best interest at heart, may see that something's going on. You know what I'm saying? And then they may step in and say, what listen, what y'all got going on?
But
or what
So see was the only way you can see something as far as that go if somebody let you in. Once you get the stonewalling, once you get the stonewalling, there is this is who she is.
Right.
So I got to just look out for myself.
But they did say it's a 6% chance.
There is a 6% chance, but the husband and the wife
still
have
gotta
to want.
You're right. You're right.
Help.
You're absolutely right.
They gotta want the help. Now, when I say want the help, I don't mean want. It's our last chance.
Right. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna come to the little marriage.
Yeah, I'm gonna come to the little marriage thing, and if it don't look like it's I don't think this gonna work.
Yeah.
But you gotta be willing to say, hey, we just kind of self-sabotage this thing. So we really want to see what we could be if we was to really try.
Right.
So we gonna put our all in it, and we are willing to do whatever it takes to make this work.
Yeah.
So we need to try that. Not, I'm gonna go to the little thing. Well, we've been married 15 years. We got these kids. They grown now. We went to marriage counseling. That ain't work. So, what else can we do? Ain't nothing else to do. That ain't it.
Yeah. And what they're basically saying is what you're doing, do the opposite of it. That's the way to get out of it. It says instead of disengagement, re-engage. Instead of defensiveness, apply openness.
Yeah.
Instead of contempt, show respect. And finally, show acceptance instead of criticalness. You have to work on these things and develop empathy. And the thing that we say all the time, and we don't only say this in marriages, but in relationships, period. You may go through stuff with your husband, and I'm gonna, of course, stay on marriages because that's what we're talking about. But we have gone through things, and y'all pretty much know it all. We've gone through things, Johnny, but at the end of the day, even before we got married, I knew your heart. And so that's what helped me to get through the fact of, when you said, okay, well, Johnny said baby ain't his. Or when you stepped out. But at the end of the day, I knew your heart. And that's what a lot of people don't take the time to do in marriages. you don't take the time to really learn the person, because the heart shows motive. That's what it's based on, the heart. And so because you had shown me and opened up your heart to me, I knew despite the lie, despite, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
despite everything that had going on, despite the hurt, despite the betrayal that I felt, I still knew your heart. Had I not known your heart, or even taken the time to know your heart, or if you never shared your heart with me and allowed me to come in and really, basically like, here's my heart right here, I did the same thing to you.
Yeah.
All my defenses were down. All my walls were down. Everything was down. And you knew my heart and I knew your heart. And that's what I believe is why I was able to know with every fiber within me that was not the end 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it 20 years? Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what, I'm for real. Of course, God having to remind me, even in those moments where I wanted to be like, you know what? I ain't finna deal with this foolishness. At the end of the day and at the beginning of the next, because of my relationship with him, he reminded me often, you know his heart. You know who he truly is. He made a mistake, but you know who he truly is. And we tell you, when we learned what covenant was, and I know we've said this to y'all before, we learned it at a seminar, a retreat that we went to. And basically at a conference we went to. And basically it's, in a covenant, I need to just go ahead and apologize to you because I'm going to do something that you don't like. I'm going to do something to hurt you. But it's because I'm human and I'm not perfect. And we're flawed.
And most of the time it's not.
It's not
most
an
of the time
intention.
it's not an intention.
Right, exactly.
It's just not dealing
not
with the
true
self.
Covenant. Right.
Yeah, you're not dealing with self, and you're not trying to be a better person. You're not intentionally trying to be a better person and figuring out, what it is that makes you tick, what it is that make you. You got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
The one person that you have to convince of a lie is yourself. Once you've done that, then you believe everybody's living in your lie, which that's not the case. So, so it was, now going back to what Deirdra said, now if I would have decided to keep cheating, now we talking about something else.
But now we
talking about something else. Because now...
Then I really didn't know who you were.
So now, so now the issue is bigger than what we need to do. And there's nothing that she could have did. It had to be on me. So if I would have kept cheating and it would have been repeatedly doing it, repetitive, then now it would have been, okay, so now she would have said, now I got to separate myself from you because I'm not going to intentionally be hurt by you because you're not willing to be responsible and make yourself better. And that's what it is.
Period.
So that's what happens, or vice versa. If Deirdra has something that she's doing. So whenever the person is not willing to do what they have to do to make themselves better, whether it's past traumas, whatever the case is, they need to get help. They're not willing to do that, then you can't make them do it. But that don't mean sit in it and just keep being abused by it.
Right, or disrespected.
Yeah, that's not what that means.
Yeah.
Now, we tell y'all all the time, we don't believe in divorce. And that's for but our perspective and how we did it is different from how other people do it. You got to really want this thing, man. It ain't marriage ain't for the faint of heart. You got to be, you got
built
to roll.
For it.
You got to roll with the changes. You got to roll with everything. Because there's going to be changes. There's going to be things that going to happen throughout. Yeah, it's just stuff. It's just stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't get help for it.
Absolutely.
You can't get help.
If you recognize that you all have, hit a wall, y'all need help, with whatever it is, reach out and get help. Therapy is not a cuss word.
Yeah, it's not.
Reach out and get help. If we can help, you can book on our website, momentswiththemobleys.com. on IG, on Facebook. There's a button as well. Or email us, info@momentswiththemobleys.com. Um, it's not, your marriage is not doomed just because you have a bump in the road, or you run into an issue that y'all really can't resolve, and now y'all frustrated. As I said, we went through probably a year worth of frustration, if not longer, but we got through it.
Yeah.
And we got through it together, and we realized that we had issues that we had to get it together. Period. Let's work this out. Both of us knew that we were willing to do it,
Yeah.
to stay together, to be better by any means necessary.
Yeah.
That's it.
And most of the time, it's the layers of stuff.
Right.
So it's the individual. So if you got something going on in your marriage, you have to work on self. That don't mean I'm gonna leave and I
I
gotta
need some
work on
time.
me. I gotta work on me.
I'll be back.
And
It ain't you, it's me.
yeah, I'll be back. Give me about 3 months or 6 months, and I'll come back, and I'll be back. That ain't what it is.
Yeah.
That ain't what it is. I gotta get help. I'm dealing with stuff in my mind. I don't understand. I got some past stuff that done happened. Baby, I'm gonna start going to counseling. I'm gonna get some help with this to figure out how I need to heal from this,
So I can be healthy.
so I can be healthier for you. You can't never fix your marriage or your relationship by leaving it or going outside of it as an individual to get it fixed. You can't do that. It has to be together, and then you make a decision to get help, and then either the wife will support it, because I'm sure whatever therapy you go to, they're gonna want to see the wife, or vice versa at some point in time. So yeah, it can work.
Absolutely.
It can work. Being
It
in it
can
20
work.
years and wanting to quit, and you never really tried, is basically,
don't count.
Yeah, it's basically saying you never gave your relationship a
Right.
shot, and you probably should have got help
Long time.
15 years ago, but you didn't. You just figured it was going to iron itself out,
Wrong
and
answer.
now you're using your history. 20 years, we got 3 kids, they all grown, they got kids. We done went to marriage counseling and all this other stuff, but you never tried. At the end of the day, going to marriage counseling does not fix your marriage. You fix your marriage. You go there to receive something and tools to
Get the
equip
tools.
you,
Yep.
so you can use the tools to help your marriage.
Put in the work.
Yeah,
It's
just saying
gonna be work.
we tried counseling, but it ain't work.
Right.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Were you coupled with the right counselor? Huh?
Did you use what they gave you?
Huh? Okay. So again, if Moments with the Mobleys, we're Moments with the Mobleys. I'm Deirdra, and this is my man, Johnnie. If we've helped you in your relationship, please do us a favor. Like, subscribe it to our, you can go to Facebook. Make sure you follow us, Instagram as well, YouTube, and share it with friends, family, co-workers, neighbors who just need to hear some stuff and get some tools. We have a whole lot of, maybe like 139 episodes on YouTube so far. We got a lot of stuff that we've covered and a lot of topics that you can get some information from that'll help you. Okay. Yeah. If you're new, again, hit subscribe, and then make sure you go to Facebook and Patreon. Join our Mob Stars group. Subscribe to Patreon. All the links are in the description below. Okay. Yeah, we appreciate y'all and all that good stuff, and we pray for happy, healthy, whole, prosperous marriage full of joy and love and making love and laughter and tears and everything that comes along with it. So
it's all a journey, y'all.
amen.
It's all a journey.
Amen.
So,
and go to the one who created it, please. He got the manual.
Yeah.
His name is God, Jesus, our Lord and Savior.
So we're gonna end right there. We do really, really care about marriages and relationships and families. So, yeah, just like my wife said, if there's anything we can do to help, go to www.momentswiththemobleys.com. Go to our website,
Book a consult.
and
Facebook, Instagram.
the consult is free. So, and then we decide from there. We give y'all a chance to decide from there if y'all want to move forward, and then we actually take a time for ourselves to see if we are the ones to help.
Right.
So, but either way,
Amen.
Yeah, get healthy, get your marriages healthy. That's it, Mo. We out. This has been Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
And I'm still his wife, Deirdra.
And we still something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
Peace out, y'all.
Night, night.